Everything is running as it should be. There have been the call to protest on social media, which will be credited for the protests that we witnessed in the country in June and July, that are now dubbed the Gen Z demos or the anti-tax demos. Throughout this week, there have been calls for people to come out to protest against the President William Ruto-led administration. And today is a very important day because the President is supposed to give a State of the Nation address to both houses at Parliament buildings. And the reason as to why most people wanted to come out, or maybe why there have been calls for the people to come out and protest and express their displeasure with the Kenya Kwanza administration, is largely because of how bad the economy has been and the high taxes which Kenyans are saddled with. But today, as of now, the CBD is calm. We've not seen any protesters, but we've seen police officers who are patrolling the streets, maybe in anticipation that the protesters will come out in the numbers that we witnessed in June and July, to express and to their displeasure with the government and also to exercise their constitutional right. As you can see, this is Moi Avenue. It's clear. Businesses are open. The matatus are going about their businesses, the taxis and boda riders. On the other end, it's still the same. So Nairobi is calm and nothing much is happening, Anki.
All right. Now, of course, we mostly, when we expecting this kind of happenings, especially the protests and what we have seen as coming out as people being rallied to come out in masses, we have often, more than not, seen security beefed up. How is it, though, when it comes to the security, the presence of police, also then, in as far as the president's address is concerned, what does it look like, really? Because so far from what I'm seeing, it's less tense, and like you have said, it's quite calm. But any presence whatsoever of men in uniform at this point in time?
We can't really tell whether they are ununiformed police officers, but given the tactics that we saw that the police deployed during the anti-tax demos, is that we had so many ununiformed police officers conducting patrols and carrying out arrests, actually. But today, the big numbers of Kenyans that are in the CBD will make it a bit harder to single out these officers, but some of the tactics that we saw was the use of Subaru vehicles. We've not spotted so many Subaru vehicles like we did during then. We've also not spotted Volkswagen Tiguans that are synonymous with the Directorate of Criminal Investigations officers who are credited for the arrest and to some the abductions that we saw during the anti-tax demos. But we've seen police officers patrolling. As you can see behind me, there's a police lorry with some officers inside, and of course they are here to beef up security and to combat and try and dissuade any protesters who may choose to take to the streets. But the security outlook is that we've also spotted some different police vehicles in different areas. And maybe one might confuse that to be that they are securing the streets because the president is supposed to make an appearance in Parliament where he'll address the nation. But clearly, we can tell that they are here for the protesters, going by their attires and how well they are organized. And you can actually see that they have tear gas canisters for them, maybe that they plan to use on the protesters. So it remains to be seen whether the protesters will come out in the big numbers that we are used to, or even the small numbers, for us to really see whether the ununiformed police officers will come out and do what we are used to or what we saw during July and June protests.
Thank you very much, Fred Kagonye. At this point in time, indeed, I know that you're saying, but what you can see, we'll look at if there will be any progress, and I want to appreciate so much